Hey y'all, I'm Riot. Welcome back to Weekly Hyperfixations. My apologies, it's been a while. Life exists. Crazy concept. But I've also been distracted, and you'll definitely obviously know why, because I will talk about why I'm distracted. And that distraction on top of everything that was happening in the middle of next week has just made it hard for me to pay attention to the normal, like, vast spread of things that I focus on every week, or that, like, my brain, rather, latches onto each week. But let's get into it. First of all, thank y'all so much for being understanding with the fact that I had to cancel last week's episode. Lo and behold, I will be back. Everything, you know, as long as life doesn't kick my ass, then, you know. But okay, let's see here. Okay, some brief things that I want to mention. I have not seen it yet, but obviously a lot of people have, and I've seen a lot of art and edits and pictures from the new Avatar: The Last Airbender thing, the new movie. And the whole tweet is, I love how many people are losing their shit over, you know, like, what, 30-year-old Zuko? Word. But also, I actually don't know how old they are in the thing. They're just adults now, basically. I think it's very funny that everyone's kind of going crazy over Zuko because, like, first of all, we kind of figured it'd be like that. But my favorite character among the dudes has been and always will be Sokka. So I'm leaving you with that. Because lo and behold, silly, goofy, yes. But also I think it's really funny because the new voice actor for who did adult Zuko is the same guy that did Keith in Voltron. So as you can imagine, a lot of people I knew in high school are going more crazy than everyone else, and I actually prefer whatever that is to normal people just being like, oh, Zuko's hot. And I'm like, well, yeah, no shit. However, my favorite characters separately, I do not ship them, are Sokka and Toph. Mainly because Toph is the best character to ever happen in that show, besides Iroh, of course. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say towards that, though, because I haven't actually seen it, but I just wanted to mention it. The Coyote versus Acme trailer came out, and I'm very excited. It also really looks bad to the studio that originally made it, which I think was, I want to say was just Warner Brothers, maybe? I can't remember. But basically, if you're not super privy to it, I've talked about it a couple times on Weekly Hyperfixations, but there is a Wile E. Coyote movie called Coyote versus Acme, and the company that made it was just going to get rid of it and never let it see the light of day. And people fought and fought and fought, and a studio bought it and is putting it out. And then I saw the trailer for it. Okay, I saw the trailer for it. And I went, did they want to delete this movie from existence because of the plot that they made? Because the plot is essentially this big company is screwing over Wile E. Coyote, and they are having to basically prove whether or not it's the company's fault or if it's because Wile E. Coyote doesn't really think through all of his decisions. And it's very anti-corporation. So I think it's even more telling that they tried to delete it from existence. I'm very excited for it. The household I live in, we are all going to go see it. Very exciting. Oh my God. Okay. I'm going to briefly mention something that I'm not going to speak on, mainly because so many people have like overly, people have made entire videos just talking about that one subject. And I'll be quite honest, didn't really care about the guy before. So obviously I'm not going to talk huge about it. But the streamer Sykkuno was outed for cheating on his girlfriend with a large amount of women, honestly, including one that at the time was under 18 years old. She was 17. So, and he put out some fake ass apology letter. Okay. As people do these days, instead of an apology video, they just make this big written up thing, and I don't know if I've made it clear to you guys, my absolute hatred for the character Deku, from My Hero Academia, Midoriya, whatever the fuck. But I do absolutely hate that character. However, how bad does your apology have to be for the person dunking on you to be Deku's English VA, reading it in the Deku voice? Damn, like that shit is so funny. Anyways, that's all I'm gonna say on that subject. I just wanted to bring up that funny thing with the Deku VA, really. But I essentially gave a TLDR of what happened, really. So yeah. Moving on from that. Oh yeah. Marvel Rivals announced their next Hellfire Gala set of skins for characters. Of course we've got Emma and we've got Jean, but they gave us the Gambit one. And if you know anything about both the Hellfire Gala and Gambit, you know which outfit it is. And it was very funny because last year for the Hellfire Gala, everyone was, before Gambit and Rogue were announced, everyone was like, oh man, what if they put in that Gambit skin? What if they put in Gambit and give him that skin? And then now we're here. To be fair, if they hadn't done it, I would have been like, can I talk to your marketing? Because I think you're being a little stupid. Because if they didn't do it, I honestly would be like, you're a company that wants money, right? Why aren't you doing the thing that will get you what you want? But I digress. I'm more a fan of the skin for Moon Knight. But also I'm so used to seeing Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight, that the Hellfire Gala skin has blue eyes. And I was like, oh, hello, that's different. That's interesting and different. I also like the little video that they showed for that one in particular. But I'm very excited for that. But that's just because I am an X-Men fan. And yes, that's all I want is more X-Men content. Thank you. So, and I believe I talked about it last time. Allow me to double check real quick. I think I talked about it. Yes, I did. So last time I talked to y'all, the first teaser for Good Omens season 3 had come out. Okay. And it featured Jesus and all that. They put out a season 2 recap. As if I didn't cry for a week after season 2 ended. That's not an exaggeration, unfortunately. And they did a bit where they had Muriel in their totally blending in police uniform. Okay. Recap season 2. And then they start to walk away. They're like, yep, and that's all that happened. And then they start to walk away, and then they went, oh, wait. And then they recount Crowley confessing to Aziraphale and kissing him, and then Aziraphale basically saying, we can't do this, and then leaving. The way my eyes started stinging, like, instantly. And it doesn't help that I'm a Doctor Who fan, and Crowley is played by David Tennant. So I just see another doomed relationship, David Tennant, and I go, this again? Really, this again? So anyway, love that. I'm so excited. It's in like, what, 2-3 weeks? I'm so excited. And then one of the, we'll say it's the last thing I'll talk about before I get into why I've been so blind to the things happening in the world around me. We got another little, basically trailer for Final Fantasy 14 patch 7.5. Big patch. Big update, big story update. A lot of things are coming. Jonathan Bailey, still with us. He was only gone for a singular patch of voice lines, basically. But he is still voicing Grahatia. I knew he would. I'm pretty sure I said on here that he seemed passionate enough about the character that I don't think he would just up and leave. I think he would try to make it work at minimum. And lo and behold, he's back. So it's a very good day. I don't even like the character. I just like going, haha, it's Jonathan Bailey. But my favorite character is involved in the story regardless. But anyway. Okay, let's breach the subject. Tomodachii Life, living the dream. Y'all, I have 2 islands, as I professed I would. I have Yuri Island, and I have Yaoi Island. Yaoi Island was the first island I made. It is the island I played with the demo, okay? Yuri Island is just now at, I want to say level 23, maybe. And just now, characters are having crushes on each other. First relationship started on Yuri Island. Just this morning, literally. And today, for your reference, is Wednesday, the 22nd. But hold on. There we go. What was I saying? So it's just now today, Wednesday, the 22nd, and it's been out since the 16th. Okay. So it's been about a week. My Yaoi Island is at, I want to say, level 39. By the way, I know someone whose island is probably now at like level 80 or 90. Which makes me feel a little better about my island almost being level 40. Probably will be by the end of the day, level 40. And it's been a week. Okay. Yuri Island's at like level 23, maybe. But Yaoi Island has been so many different characters having crushes on each other. We have, I want to say, 2 married couples on Yaoi Island. Phoenix Wright and Miles Edgeworth, who got married this morning. And then the first 2 that got married were Urianger from Final Fantasy 14 and Cloudstripe from Final Fantasy 7. If you are unfamiliar with the terms I was using to describe the names of my islands, Yuri, only women. Yaoi, only men, basically. And they're only attracted to each other. So there's no... I do have myself on Yaoi Island as like the mayor, because in the new Tomodachii Life, you can select that Ami doesn't date anyone. So I just selected that because I thought it'd be funny to be like wingman to the entire island. I thought that'd be really funny. I was going to make my best friend the mayor of Yuri Island and have their me be the same way. But they specifically requested to be in the dating pool on Yuri Island. So they are. One character has, one of my D&D OCs has a crush on her, which is great. But I've been absolutely absorbed by Tomodachii Life, living the dream. That's not true. I have done a lot of other things. I had a pretty packed weekend, went to the library, going to the library again soon, that kind of thing. But I've been playing a good amount of Tomodachii Life, living the dream. It's kind of petering out where I'm like, okay, I don't need to be playing it constantly, because I think I'm getting a little better about remembering that your entire day can't just be playing video games. Like, you should really do other things. But yeah, Tomodachii Life has been a lot, as one might imagine. I'm actually gonna go into the pyramid a little bit earlier than I usually do, because I want to talk about something that my statement about video games, not playing them all day, reminded me of. But I wanted to talk about that after the pyramid, so we'll just get right into it. This week's pyramid is only about Tomodachii Life and nothing else, okay? Bear with me. You'll get beautiful screenshots from my Tomodachii Life. First up on the pyramid, you are able to make pets for your Miis in Tomodachii Life. And I thought it would be really funny if the me of myself had the original Star Walker as a pet. So that is on the island. Also, I successfully, by putting an ellipses after the word original, that was the right amount to make it so that the Miis say original Star Walker with a big gap in between the words. So they'll go original Star Walker, which is great. That's exactly what I wanted. And that has been really great. It glows at night as well, for obvious reasons, I feel. But yeah, that's why the original Star Walker is on the pyramid. Also, pixel art, really hard when you have stick drift. Yeah. Next up on the pyramid is actually Zoro. Yes, like One Piece. Zoro from One Piece. First of all, I put him on there to go with the fact that I put Sanji on there, okay? Zosan Enjoyer here. And first of all, shout out to Zoro for falling in love with Sanji like almost immediately. That was beautiful and poetic. And basically the opposite of what you would think would canonically happen, maybe. Excuse me, but I prefer that as opposed to Sanji falling for Zoro first. Also, I think I did a really good, I think I did a pretty okay job with the using the face paint to make a more accurate Zoro. Free-handed his earrings, which it's not as good as it could have been, but also I'm not gonna make myself stress out over that. It does look a little weird in some lightings, but otherwise, you know what? Honestly, probably the next pyramid or two is just going to be me giving a genuine Abby Lee pyramid of how much I've liked each of my Miis this week, which says a lot. But anyways, that's why Zora's on the pyramid. Next up on the pyramid is Waterboy. I feel like I did a really good job with how he looks. And I do have the sprinkler on my island, and even though there's like no setting to like make him prefer to play in the sprinkler or anything like that, he's always playing in the sprinkler, which is so good. I also just think that with how Tomodachii Life is set up, a lot of the little quirks you can give them really work well with that character. And by that, I mean all of the shy and nervous quirks. Perfect. 10 out of 10. I think the only little quirks that I debated between were standing nervously, I think. Is that one? I can't remember. Or the one where they're like getting rid of sweat, because it's Waterboy. So I was like, that one would make sense. But having a great time with that, let me tell you. I'm also only dressing him in blue and yellow. And I think the me is gonna get sick of it real soon, but we will see. But that's why Waterboy is on the pyramid. Next up on the pyramid is a modification of a me made by GH Coffee, the streamer. The name actually reads out as like Glorp X, the weird AE thing, 47 or whatever. But her name is Rachel. Okay, her name's Rachel, and she's not from here. She's from out of town, so to speak. I love how my Rachel turned out. I tried to give her really big alien eyes, but it didn't. I made the eyes as big as I could, but it wasn't enough. I don't know what I could have done to fix that. You used to be able to do it really well in the other game. Maybe it was combined with something else and I just don't know. But yeah, I really like how Rachel turned out. She floats everywhere, of course. And she talks with my favorite me, who will be on the top. So sorry, who will be on the top of the pyramid. They talk to each other about other worlds, because my OC is theoretically from a different point in time. So, you know, but I think Rachel is also another me that is just, everything is so easy to put together for her. Her room is like a surveillance room, like the walls are all monitors and stuff, and there's a desk, and I really like that room for her. If there's one that's more spaceship themed, I prefer that, but I like what she has so far. Next up on the pyramid, you guessed it, my perfect creation of Baby No Money in Tomodachii Life. Yes, his eyes are not the right color. No, I'm not going to change them. They look perfect. And he's in love with Hugh Morris, actually, I think. I think he's dating Hugh Morris, like the character from the direct for Tomodachii Life. Yeah. He's got a nightclub room and all this stuff. Really, honestly, excellent me. Really excellent job that I did. It's like this week's list were basically things in Tomodachii Life that I'm like genuinely a little bit proud of. And Baby No Money in Tomodachii Life is one of them. Okay. And then finally, our top spot on the pyramid goes to my OC, Hyacinth. I've given them basically every laid back and chill looking quirk available. So when they like greet you, they're like, hey, and I'm like, yes, I made the coolest me on the planet and it's just my OC. Like, that's so fulfilling because it's an OC that I have, but it's really hard for me to draw human faces. So I can't draw my OC very well. So seeing a depiction of my OC that actually looks really good, crazy, absolute cinema. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm just so excited about it. Also, I have a me of Sabrina Carpenter, okay? And I, of course, have, I do have Chapel Roan, and I have Hatsune Miku, and I have Kasane Teto. And Sabrina Carpenter had a crush on Kasane Teto on my island, okay? And out of nowhere, my OC Hyacinth shows up. Doesn't even, barely knows Kasane Teto. Literally not even friends. They're acquaintances of like the lowest level, okay? Lowest caliber acquaintance. Sabrina Carpenter confesses to Teto. My OC decides I'm going to confess to Teto too, even though, for the record, literally on the screen record, says that my OC doesn't even like Teto. And Teto doesn't like my OC. But Teto chooses my OC over Sabrina fucking Carpenter. And now they're dating. And that's the first relationship on Yuri Island. What the hell? Girl, what? I cannot with that. Oh my God. That happened today. The wildest shit I've ever seen. And this is Tomodachii Life. You know what I mean? Anyway. That's also why I've been super distracted and not on social media or anything, is because I got a new hyperfixation video game in my grubby little mitts. Last thing we're going to talk about today, now that the pyramid is finished, is, I guess, kind of not quite an explanation of like why I didn't produce an episode of Weekly Hyperfixations last week, but more just, I guess, a life update, for lack of a better term. So I think I mentioned last week that I was kind of having a quarter life crisis, and that, I don't know, I just needed to, stand up for things that I actually want to do. And I actually, like, basically, instead of choosing something that is easier for other people, and it's really weird to describe. Basically, how I am viewing it is that I'm not what I would outright call a people pleaser, because I know it can get much worse than what I do. But anytime I have come to an important decision in my life, in basically the last like 4-ish years, I have deferred to what the majority of the people around me think should be happening. Like, I haven't been choosing things because I want them. I've been choosing things because it's better for the group as a whole. Hey, stop doing that, actually. So I did stop doing that, which has been liberating, honestly. But on top of that, I've been getting out and about more. I go to the library a lot now, which is great, because it's exercise to get there in the first place, because I just walk there. And then it's also, like, every once in a while, I'll run into my friend who works near there. And that's always excellent. And then I know some people who work at the library, so there's also that. And then I'm going to be DMing again, Dungeons and Dragons, for people that I don't know, which is terrifying. But I've been talking to my friend who works near there about it, because they've expressed an interest in Dungeons and Dragons to me before, so I thought they'd find it interesting. And I don't know whether or not I should just outright say that, like, hey, there's no signups or anything. You can just show up if you want to play D&D. You'll know at least one person. You'll know me. But also, I feel like, I don't know, I'm still not great about the being able to perceive how others think about me, which I'm trying to work on. But, you know, I don't want to be overbearing, basically. So I'm kind of like, you know, I'm sharing about like, oh yeah, and I'm going to do XYZ, and then I'm going to do this and this, so that I like by proxy am giving them the information if they want to do it, but I'm not outright asking them to, because I don't want them to think that they have to. Now that I say that out loud, it sounds stupid. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to be at minimum for a month DMing. So only like 3 weeks, 3 sessions. That's not a lot of time. That's basically a glorified one shot in terms of Dungeons and Dragons, but I am nervous about it. But I'm a little bit excited because I literally, before recording, figured out that the idea I had, I could actually basically multiply by 5 and it'd be okay. So that's really exciting, actually. I also don't know how many people tend to show up to this. So yeah. Anyways, I hope y'all had a wonderful, past 2 weeks? I hope you all have a good weekend, and I hope you all have a good week next week. I'll see you back here. Same time, same place, as long as everything goes completely fine. And yeah, I guess I'll see y'all then. I may actually film on my birthday next week. I'm not sure, but I need to start filming a day earlier because of D&D. So we'll see how that goes. But regardless, I hope you had a good time. I know I did. I'll see y'all back here, same time, same place next week. Have a good rest of your week, y'all.